Meet the most capable CR-V Honda has ever dreamed of. The all-new CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. With all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control, it's built for wherever the day takes you. Heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, ideal for winter drives and crisp early starts. And with generous cargo space, it's ready for big gear and even bigger getaways. The CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. Learn more at honda.com/CRV.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses are powered by Meta AI, so you can get real-time answers.
Hey, Meta, how bougie is Jade Garden?
It's a trendy spot.
What's a color that pairs with this top?
Consider dark, earthy colors, charcoal or black.
What are some good first date topics?
Consider discussing favorite travel destinations or your favorite books.
Get suggestions, inspiration, and answers from your glasses. Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Iconic style meets Meta AI.
Welcome to Speak. I'm Keyshawn Johnson, joined by NBA champion, MVP Paul Pierce, and Fox NFL analyst TJ Hushmanzada. What's up, fellas? Why y'all look so stiff?
What's good, dog? What's good?
Good, man. All right, I'm just making sure, you know.
We good.
All right, you know that cheesing and stuff. Y'all good?
Ready to roll, man.
Okay, ready to go. I'm ready to go, too, and so are the Lakers. Deandre Ayton was introduced to the newest Laker yesterday. This will be his third team in his career as the former #1 overall pick seeks to win his first NBA title. Paul don't think the Lakers can do it. I knew you were going to say something.
Correct.
And he said he thinks LA is the perfect place to do that. Take a listen.
I felt like Lakers was the best position. You know, they want to win a championship right now, and I want to win right now as well, and just be a part of a winning legacy and just be around winners. The last 2 years was just a different route for me, and I just learned a lot that, when you don't win in this league, you could be forgotten.
Hey, Paul, but just be honest with us. What is the Lakers' ceiling with Deandre Ayton?
The Lakers ceiling. Wow, that's a good question. Now, he definitely feels a need for the Lakers, but I'm not sure if he's the answer in winning a championship, Key and TJ. I mean, if you had told me that they were getting the Joker or Antetokounmpo, then I would have been like, oh, they should be the favorites. But since they're getting a guy who's still trying to find his way in the NBA, he's been on multiple teams, this being his third team, and I believe 6 years being the #1 pick and not really yet finding a home, I'm not sure how much he pushes the needle. Now, yes, he can bring some intangibles that they need. A shot blocker, a lob threat, a big guy in the middle are things that all the things that the Lakers needed. So in answering your question, what's the Lakers' ceiling with DeAndre Ayton? Now, they lost in the first round in 3 straight years.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Man, I think they're ceiling, truthfully, Key, I think they're still in need of more athleticism and more defense on the perimeter. I think they're a second-round ceiling. You got to understand, LeBron is a year older. Will LeBron play 65 or more games? That's got to factor into it. How healthy will Luka be? They don't have too much depth yet. So if they make it to the second round with the roster as constructed, that's a win-win for the Lakers. Just being honest.
I look at them as a championship-type team. I don't know if they can get there or not, but if you go back to last year, TJ, and we looked at the Mark Williams kid. The Mark Williams kid we made the trade for, then all of a sudden the medical didn't work out. Everybody was hyped about that. DeAndre Ayton is a better basketball player than him. Being put in the right situation, you think Mark, last year he averaged 15 and 10. Well, DeAndre Ayton was 14 and 10 in only 40 games. His high when the Suns went to the championship that year that they lost, he was 18 and 10. His career average is 16.5 in 10. That's pretty good basketball, I would say, for a 5. We're not talking about a guy who's shooting.
It's solid.
Yeah, it's very solid. So if you add him, TJ, with Luka, and even though LeBron is older, but guess how long we've been saying that? About 10 years.
5, 6, 7 years.
About 10 years now. Oh, he's a little bit older.
No, he's really older.
He's a little bit older. And he's still going to average like 26. He's
20s. In the 20s.
But see, that's the Laker hate. That's the Laker hate.
In the 20s, he averaged 24. He'll be in the 20s still, yes.
Okay, so let's say he give you a solid quarter.
23.
You just can't do it.
He's just coming off 24.
Okay, so give him 25. He's going to take a step up.
As he get older, just keep taking steps up, Key?
Well, I mean, the last 10 years, he got older. He keeps taking steps up.
It's Luka's team now.
I don't think it's Luka's team yet, TJ.
Come on now.
What you think the ceiling is for us?
I'm with you. It's competing for a championship. It's competing for a championship, and this is why. Our weakness was perimeter defense and a big guy. We needed a center. We needed a center.
A rim protector.
We can still
lob threat.
Get somebody on a perimeter. Just any game that we play in, for the most part, you got Luka, you got LeBron, you got Deandre Ayton. We're going to have 3 of the top 8 players on any team. Majority of the guys we go against, the majority of teams we play, we're going to have 3 of the top 8 guys. We're going to have 3 of the top 8 guys. If it's starting 10, if we play the Denver Nuggets right now, you're going to put Jokic over him, you're going to put Jamal Murray over him, nobody else on Denver. So we always going to have somewhat of an advantage when it comes to the top players in the starting lineup. When you start talking like this, the hunger that you can hear in his voice, he knows he got something to prove. We got he's the first pick. Yeah. Luka was the 3rd pick in the same draft. The last, if I can recall, guys that do that was actually LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. With LeBron being the 1st pick, Chris Bosh being the 4th pick, and Dwayne Wade being the 5th pick. You got 2 of the top 3 guys on the same draft class on the same team, and he's hungry. They vilified him. They vilified him in Phoenix. They vilified him in Portland. Man? He hungry.
What you looking at?
Yeah, I get it. And he has every right to be motivated, being that he's going to be in a great culture. But look, this team ain't – I just looked at that starting 5. That starting 5 ain't stopping nobody on defense. When I look at – and I'm looking at the teams in the West, Houston, OKC, Denver. Look at this.
Team defense.
Look at this.
Luka gonna come back a different defensive player.
Yeah, we played pretty good team defense at the start of the Luka.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah, we did.
Whatever you call it, 2 or 3 weeks, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it.
It's 6 months to the season. Y'all played good defense for 2 weeks.
He had just got there, though, Paul. He's going to be in training camp.
No, look.
We're going to be better on defense. We're going to be better.
So where do you see the Lakers falling in? Like, what seed?
We're the 3rd seed. We at least 1 through 4.
1 through 4?
1 through 4.
I would say
we're the 3rd seed.
I would say we're going to be at least 3 or 4.
Nope. OKC going to be in the top.
That's why I didn't say 1.
Denver going to be in there.
I don't buy Denver like you buy
Houston
Denver.
going to be in there.
That's why I said
Houston and OKC.
Minnesota going to be in there. That's 4 right there. They're going to be in the top 5.
I don't know where Minnesota going to be. I know Minnesota's going to be a tough out, but I don't know where they're going to be.
Clippers going to be in there.
They'll fall apart.
And then a healthy Warriors team.
The healthy Warriors team is not better than us.
Yeah,
a healthy Warriors team are not better than us.
They pushed Minnesota to 7 games, right? No, they didn't.
A healthy Warriors team is not better than us.
Them to 7 games, but they beat Minnesota at least once or twice. Played them better than the Lakers did.
No, we didn't have a rim protector. We had Rudy Gobert out there looking like Kareem and Bill Russell in a combination. So it changes now with Deandre Ayton. I understand when you look at Deandre Ayton, Paul, and you look at where he started at in Phoenix, and then all of a sudden they said goodbye, and then Portland decided to say goodbye. But
so
could it be that I'm in a different space in my mind because I'm in a different place now?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be different than I was in Phoenix.
He has to be different.
Right.
Well, whether he has to or not, sometimes when you're in a bad situation, you don't necessarily give it your all. You want to get your check and go home. In this situation, when you're in LA and you're playing for the Lakers at that position in particular,
okay,
you gonna come to play. You can listen to him in his presser and tell, okay, for day 1 so far with a Laker uniform on, he seems very motivated.
Yeah, all his presser's been like that. When he got drafted, I saw his presser. When he got drafted, he was like, I can't wait for this opportunity. I love DeAndre Ayton, but I gotta see it. I got to see the change in attitude. I got to see what his character is going to be like. You know, this is the thing. It ain't been the question of his talent. It's been a question of him being motivated. It's been a question of him living up to being the number 1 pick. Now, he's been solid as a NBA player. 16, 15, and 10, them are solid numbers. I can't take that away. But when you've been traded around the league few times and you a number 1 pick and it's only been 6 years, there has to be some other question marks. Can he fit in a culture with a winning environment when he's not used to that? Hopefully, this is the perfect environment for him. I love that he's with LeBron and Luka, and it can change his perspective on the day-to-day, being ready on what it's like to be a pro, because this is exactly what he needs. So hopefully it'll work out, but still, even if it worked out to that, and his talent and his mind is there, I'm looking at what everybody got better. Like, how much better did the Lakers actually get?
We got what we wanted, which was a 5. That's
Got what we wanted and needed.
And needed in the worst way. Speaking of LeBron, TJ, does LeBron still fit with the Lakers, given the fact that Deandre Ayton and Luka's there?
When you had a talented LeBron, you fit on any team. Great athletes, great players will find a way to make sure they can fit in, that they can add value to a team. I see no problem with LeBron not fit. I don't see how there can be a conflict. Now, is he going to have the ball as much now with Luka? Probably not. But when Luka got traded to Lakers, everybody said, oh, man, this is a bad fit. This is not going to work. It worked pretty damn well to me. They worked out really well. Now, started off strong and it surprised everybody. Yeah, we went to the playoffs and things didn't go the way we planned and we would have liked. But I thought that combination of Luka and LeBron was really good. Now it's going to be up to J.J. Redick to see how can he spread these minutes out to where if LeBron is sitting in the corner while Luka is dribbling the ball, like that has to be a minimum. Luka can't dribble the ball 17, 18 seconds of the shot clock and everybody, you're not going to be able to do that all season, every possession. They're going to figure that out now that you have a training camp, but 100% LeBron fit in with the Lakers if he want to fit in.
Now, Key, you said the question was, does LeBron still fit on the Lakers? I don't think he does. Because if we're saying moving forward that this is Luka's team and Luka needs a certain type of roster to thrive and carry, they're too kind of repetitive. Now, are you asking LeBron to be a 3-and-D guy? LeBron, go stand in the corner. We need you spotting up. Those are the type of players that Luka thrived under, a lob threat, guys being ready to shoot when he penetrated. So if LeBron has the ball, you're taking away from Luka. Are you going to be asking Luka to set screens, stand in the corner?
But
Kyrie Irving don't do that. He didn't do that. He's not sitting in the corner waiting to shoot the three.
But LeBron did some of that.
Was.
But LeBron did some of that at the start last year. When they got Luka, Luka was bringing the ball up the court. LeBron was going into the corner.
Key, all my relationships were great at the beginning. I'm single now. And I'm single. Like, it was great. At the beginning, it was great. The honeymoon, all that. It was boom, boom, boom.
And you talking about personal relationships, not on the court.
Then when we settled in, oh, man, come on. Now that they settled in, look what happened. They got swept in the playoffs, a gentleman's sweep, 4-1. So it's like, who's going to change their game for who?
I don't think anybody going to change the game.
Luka's the future. So
no, of course he's the future.
You think JJ going to go into practice like, all right, we got to defer?
But Paul, like, Luka's never won a championship, so his way and his style of playing is not winning the championship. Some point, but he didn't win it. At some point, you got to realize, like, how I'm doing things isn't working. And so I'm not going to change completely, but I got to change a little bit.
Yeah. They got to play to his strengths.
So, look, what does Chris Paul do for us if we bring in Chris Paul? Half-court offense?
He makes y'all a lot older.
That clearly we get older. We might be the oldest team in the league at that point.
And then you have 2 40-year-olds that's going to be hanging out, going to dinners and drinking wine on the road. That's what Chris Paul is going to do for y'all.
So you get ready to tell me he can't set Luka up or LeBron up or nobody like that?
Listen, the Lakers don't want to bring an old people's home to the locker room now. Come on.
Well, the last time we did that, we found ourselves in the championship. They just fell apart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they didn't have 2 40-year-olds.
I don't know how old.
Nobody. This is the oldest. LeBron is the oldest. 240.
No, they probably wouldn't.
And then you just had the youngest team and second youngest team.
But Malone was up there.
They wasn't 40 though.
And GP had a hole in his glove, so.
Yeah.
Chris Paul and Ayton, they played the NBA Finals together.
They did. They played
I don't
the
like
NBA
that.
Finals.
Lakers got to get younger and more athletic on the perimeter. What was the issue? They defense, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have no athletics. They couldn't keep up with Ant. He out there, Ant going through his Jordan mode, throwing the.
But now with Ayton in the middle, though,
come on,
you're not just getting layups now. They're gonna be contested layups. You're not just getting to the paint and nobody's there to challenge you.
The knock on Ayton is like he don't play hard all the time.
Yeah, but Paul,
like, all right,
that happens in a lot of situations because
what's gonna happen if he's not getting the ball like he used to?
But he understands coming to LA gives him a better chance to be the guy that he was supposed to be coming out of Arizona. Change of environment, change of scenery.
What option is he?
He did. Ooh.
16
he
and 10.
might be. The option he might be the 3.5.
3B?
He's gonna be the fourth.
3.5.
At best, fourth option.
So it's gonna be
best.
obviously LeBron, Luka, then Reeves.
And then maybe Richie, and then maybe Rui.
Yeah,
might
whatever,
be the
man.
fifth.
I can't listen to you.
Yeah, you're not.
I gotta talk about.
I woke him up. He gonna be.
Yeah, when you said the option, though, that's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Put it this way.
They're not gonna just be coming
But
down.
but this is the thing, though. If he catch 3 to 4 lobs a game, you get 4 to 5 offensive rebounds. You got to get your own points.
Okay.
Get you some rebounds.
The lobs is not gonna be there because you don't
the
have
lobs
the
gonna be there.
shooters.
They're going to be there.
All right, because he has shooters. So if LeBron is spotting up while he pick and rolling with him, if I'm helping out on LeBron, I'm like, go ahead, kick it to LeBron for 3. I'm helping on this lob. Go ahead.
You act like LeBron threes are just horrible.
No, I ain't say that, but I'm taking the lesser of two evils with LeBron. Because LeBron slashing and going to the basket, I don't want none of that. But that 3, he can have that.
But he 40-something% from 3. Anyway, let's talk about a young team. The Thunder have agreed to a fully guaranteed 5-year rookie max extension with Chet Holmgren. The deal could reach up to $250 million and keeps him in OKC through 2031. They also locked up SGA to the Supermax extension last week. So, Paul, are the Thunder on track to being the next dynasty?
They're absolutely on the track. They're on the track. And what I mean by that, you have to win one to get on track. So now, we're on the side, we're on the track. But there's 3 teams that's on the track in my eyes that I feel like it. The Celtics are still on track. Think about it. They just won last year, right?
They got a whole new team, Paul.
That's all right. They still got their core. But they still built to win a championship when you got those 2. Denver's on track because they just reloaded. So say this. Denver won 2 years ago, right? So now you like, all right, if they win next year, because Denver can win it next year, that's going to be their second one in like 3-4 years. You on track to be a dynasty because a dynasty is 3 chips in a certain amount of years.
Yeah.
Like if you win 3 and 6, that's still a dynasty.
I just don't see Denver. I don't see Denver.
Denver's right there. They took OKC to 7.
They
pushed them to the brink.
OKC had never been in that situation. Like, they're young. OKC ain't going to be that way again in 26, 27.
But
25, 26.
But I'm saying Denver got better. You understand? With the best player that got more weapons now, if they stay healthy, they right there. Celtics may not be there next year, but the year after, they're going to be right back in the mix. So are they on track? Absolutely on track. They got a young core. They signed all their players. They're going to be back. They're going to be scary for the next 4 or 5 years, being that if they can stay together.
They on the road. They on the road for a dynasty, but so much has to go right. That's the biggest problem is you have to have great health. You got to have a bit of luck. Like, Holmgren missed some time last year. Mm-hmm. If he missed time, like, there's just so much. And then now, when you win, guys want to get paid. So now they've given Holmgren a max rookie extension. They're going to give Jalen Williams a max rookie extension. At some point, when they start hitting that apron,
they're going to have to pay the piper.
They're going to have to start paying guys, and now they're going to be in the tax apron, and they're going to lose guys. So are they on track? Yeah, they're on track. Will they be I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's not going to happen because of what Paul just, there's just so many teams that are right there. Denver, Boston, Houston.
And it's like, and will we be having this conversation if Halliburton didn't go down? Will we be having this conversation even about whether or not they would be a dynasty? The fact that they got out of there with a victory in Game 7, it allows us to have this conversation. But you got to also think about the money. The money in contracts are so important.
This was looking at Boston right
just
now.
Think about what Boston, they paid $300 million, another $300 million, $70 million, $80 million. And then they started saying, well, we got to get rid of him, and him, and him, and we ain't going to re-sign him. And now we're going to wait on Tatum to come back in 26, 27. What does that even look like for Boston? So you got to think that unless they are able to do it in the next 4 years, so to speak, that means you knocking championships down in these next 4 years.
What idea was it with these tax aprons and all that? Like, where did this come from?
Collective bargaining agreement.
Man, they need to get rid of that. They need to get. Yeah, they need to get rid of it. Like,
but
nobody.
Then the advantage is going to be with the big market teams who make the money.
Like, nobody.
Not, you know,
you start liking the team. Oh, we got to let him go. We can't afford to pay him. We going to be in a tax apron. Like, nobody wants that. Let these dudes stay on these teams. Let people build dominant teams.
Yeah, but it ain't about what the fans want. It's about what the owners want.
You still making money either way. You're still making money either way.
They'd rather make $5 than $1.50.
Because when you look at this Oklahoma, they about to pay Jalen Williams. They going to give up almost $1 billion in contracts this offseason to SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams. Yeah. Just those three guys.
Yep.
About 800 something million.
When your bench players come up, they're going to want to be paid. So now you're going to lose what makes you a really good team, and that's the depth.
That's what OKC kind of went through before with Westbrook and Durant and James Harden and those dudes, because their contracts was coming up and everybody wanted to get paid. They couldn't pay the Beard. The Beard
they chose Ibaka over James Harden.
Yeah.
So they had to they had to pick and choose. Coming up, Joe Burrow almost willed his team to the playoffs last year. So how much pressure is on the Cincinnati Bundles this season?
Bundles?
Wow.
The Bundles. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
At Strayer University, we help students like you go from, is it possible, to anything is possible by offering access to up to 10 no-cost gen ed courses, so you can reach your goals affordably and fast. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. No-cost gen eds provided by Strayer University affiliate Sophia. Eligibility rules apply. Connect with us for details. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.
It's time for our top story of the day, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. Joe Burrow is one of the players featured in Netflix quarterbacks this season. And one clip of the Bengals quarterback from Week 15 win last season has been catching reviews all over the nation. Take a listen.
The penalty train rolls on.
What are we doing, man? Wake the up! Mental mistakes all day.
Way to finish the day. That's a great drive to finish it. I know it's a frustrating,
embarrassing performance by us. Embarrassing.
You know, I understand that we won the game and we want to be happy that we win the game, but at the same time, when things aren't good enough, I'm not going to act like they were.
So, TJ, is this good leadership from Cartier Joe?
It's not good leadership. It's great leadership. It's great leadership. I love it. Lock in. Stop getting pre-snap penalties. Mental. Like, lock in. You can't be happy with beating the team we're supposed to beat when we know we're making mental mistakes, when we know if we make these mistakes against the better teams, we're losing or we have lost those games. And so, me personally, I love that type of leadership because I was that type of player. And it's not coming off the wrong way, because when your peers and your teammates know how much you prepare, how much you put into the game, they're willing to take that from you because they know it's not coming from a bad place. I just want to win. False starts, we got to eliminate those. We can't have pre-snap penalties. If I'm telling you in the huddle, all right, everybody be cool. We going on two. And then you jump on first down, like, you not locked in. This game must not matter to you as much as it matters to me. That's a problem for me. Like, that's always annoyed me, because a quarterback, you know this, when you get in the huddle, you're like, hey, we going to go on three. Or he going to say, I'm going to give you a double count. Like, they going to tell you 2 or 3 times, and then you still jump off sides. Like that, you're not really locked in, and that bothers me. So I love this type of leadership.
They crazy with that, Paul, jumping off sides when you tell them.
Yeah.
We practice it all the time. No-brainer freeze, don't jump.
He coming in, don't let it be like a timeout. It's a timeout. So he gonna come into the huddle.
Oh, I didn't see it.
We gonna go on 2 on this one. We going on 2. Y'all good? Yeah, we going on 2. So they might say they call it like Monday, because they're gonna snap count Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Monday, we going on Monday. And you still jump. Like, bro, really?
Yeah, for me, I think sometimes it's a certain way you gotta go about things. Like, I know that you get the instructions, because I've been in timeouts to where you say a specific things to everybody. You just know what's gonna happen, and it still happens. It's almost like stage fright. You ever seen somebody
the moment too big?
Yeah, sometimes the moment gets too big for certain individuals when it's actually game time, when there's actually the lights are on. So I think you call them out, and you got to know your teammates. Like, because some guys don't, like me, I wasn't good at reacting being yelled at. Like, don't yell at me. Like, the coach right there, don't yell at me. I'm right here. Like, hey, listen, dog, you can't do that. Talking to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to be yelled at. So, unless he know his teammates, because all of them are different. And it's a different player probably each time. I think he has to learn from this. Because think about this. You get yelled at for mistakes, you might not respond the right way. But if we go in the locker room after the game, we won the game, like, look, if we're going to win some games, I need you to be more disciplined. Like, if you talk to them a certain way, boom, 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 you might get more out of somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? So was it good leadership? I'm split on this because you, TJ, you've been in the wars, and when you in wars, you react. You in the foxhole, you react. And it's no time to be calm. I get it. And so, but I think, and I understand where he's coming from. So I'm just split down the middle with it. But overall, I love the fact that my quarterback is vocal, though. Because you got some quarterbacks that is not as vocal as he going to be. Like, there's certain quarterbacks that's not going to get the message the way you want to get the message that's going to motivate you. Some guys going to get motivated by that. Some guys going to shut down from that. So I think there's a fine line between, how you talk and what you say to your teammates.
I like the fact that he's engaged and he cares. Okay, he's paying attention. That part I like. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I need my quarterback to be calm under all circumstances. I don't need him to blow a fuse out on the field. I need you to be focused and calm. I don't need you screaming and yelling. That's what we got offensive line coaches for. That's why we got quarterback coaches for.
That's what we got guys like you for, huh?
That's what we got guys like me for.
But there's guys.
Well, you used to yell at your quarterback.
Well, no, not really.
But
Not really.
How many guys have you played with?
Stop, man.
How many guys have we played with?
But the difference is that I'm not the quarterback. I need my quarterback.
How you gonna explain this, Key?
Well, that's the coach. Wow. That's the coach.
Look, Key,
you got him turning his back.
Key, how you gonna explain this?
No, man.
Look at them eyes. Look at them eyes, though.
That's the quarterback.
That's the quarterback.
No, but I can explain.
That's the quarterback, Key.
I can explain.
How you gonna explain that?
I can explain. All the situations. No, that's not true. No, I don't mind being yelled at. I don't care about being yelled at. I don't want my quarterback losing focus. Okay?
Once you do that, Key, how long does it take you to snap right back in it?
Oh, I was good.
And that's my point.
I was good. I got what I need to get off my chest. I was good.
If a quarterback or anybody can do that, and then boom, I'm good. I don't mind it. If a quarterback or any player, if you can just go off and then snap right back into what you need to be, that's perfect. That's not a problem.
That right there,
it's your quarterback. He ain't throwing you the rest of the game.
Oh, no, we hooked up right after that. That's my dude. That's Drew Bledsoe. That's my guy. But in those type of situations, I'm a receiver. Quarterbacks need to be calm. Right. That's why you have line coaches. That's why you have coordinators to go tear into somebody and teach them a certain thing. That's what you got them for. And so for me, I just want him to be calm. Because if a receiver was screaming and hollering and acting like that, we become divas. We're problems. We're this. We're that. No, quarterbacks are the ones that's actually the divas. They're the biggest divas, in my opinion, in professional sports, are the quarterbacks. We see them all day long, Chad, but no one ever wants to say that because they're supposed to be protected. They're supposed to be protected. You're not supposed to say anything negative about the QB position. And as long as he's winning I don't care. If he's calm, because what if he goes out there and he fumbles a snap or he throws a pick? Ain't nobody going to run over there screaming and hollering at him. You know, he makes mistakes too. And if the teammates are okay with it, then I guess that's okay, you know?
In his defense, and obviously this is coming from the Netflix documentary Quarterback series. In his defense, he'll say, like, I don't really get on my teammates like that because when I make a mistake, they're going to pick me up and vice versa.
Yeah.
And the players know who he is as a person. We all know who he is as a player. So when I know you as a player and I know you as a person even more, then it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because I know you coming from a good place.
Yeah, and I don't think any of the players are worried about it. My thing is just, I need you to be calm. Because I need you to go out there and execute the next play.
Yeah. But if you have, a coach can't be the one. It can't be a coach doing all the yelling. It has to be some player, somebody on the team has to do it. And on the offensive side of the ball, if nobody's going to do it, he may be the only one. If Jamar Chase would do it, Joe probably would take a step back. Yeah. If T. Higgins would do it, he'd probably take a step back. If nobody else is going to do it, he's like, I got to be the one to do it because they aren't.
So, TJ, how much pressure is on the Cincinnati Bengals this year to perform? I want to hear it.
It's a lot of pressure, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's a ton of pressure. We got to do a lot of things. Mr. Brown, Katie Blackburn, Troy Blackburn. It's a lot of pressure, not only on the organization, but on Joe Burrow to really get the Bengals where they should be and the talent of this team says they should be. We got to sign Trey Hendrickson. We got to get this done. We got to stop messing around. We got to sign Shamar Stewart. We're like, we can't draft a guy in the first round and every rookie's contract is slotted and he not signed. We got to make this happen. If y'all need help, call your boy. I get this done in a week. But it's so much pressure, not only on the team and the organization, on the quarterback to get this done. We have so much promise going into this season. Great opportunity, but you can't do it with your best players and your first-round pick. First-round pick who's extremely talented but raw, who needs every snap that he can get in practice. So we got to make this happen. If you can't, call your boy.
Ooh, Keith, there's so much pressure on the Bengals.
It's a lot.
Man, what? Think about this. You done missed the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Start off 0-2 for like the last 3 years or something.
Where's 0-3 last year?
0-3, yeah.
You got, what you got, $550 million tied up in 3 players? Your coaches is on the hot seat. Zach, DC, Scott Pitt. Hey, look, they can't just sit on it comfortably. They not leaning back.
Yeah.
That seat warm. You cannot have a roster like you have that's been to the Super Bowl, contracts through the roof, and the one issue you don't clean up was been a problem for you last year. The reason you didn't make the playoffs is because of your defense. And then, like you said, you don't sign Trey. You in contracts disputes with Stewart. DC, I'll go. Your O-line was one of the worst in the league. Luckily, you got a great quarterback, because if that was somebody else, y'all wouldn't have won that many games. Trouble is brewing in Cincinnati. And after watching that play with Joe Burrow from last season, how hot he was with your O-line, I don't think things is going to end well. I don't think things going to end well in Cincinnati. People got them the 7 best odds to win the Super Bowl. And they be lucky to
we get everybody in camp. We can't let this couple million, because I'm assuming that's what it is with Trey Hendrickson.
But you don't want to go.
You cannot let him not be signed over a couple million, because if you win, you're going to make that back and then some. You're going to make that back.
You know, and I know a couple $1 million to the Bengal owners is like a couple billion to them. So in the end, it's a lot of pressure. So much pressure on Cincinnati.
Distractions with these contracts.
They at the top of the heat in the NFL for me. At the top. They number one. They might be -1. They at the top. You know what I'm saying? Zach Taylor, hey, man, glad you could join us, man. I mean, that could happen if they miss the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Glad you could join us?
No, I'm serious.
We got a seat for him right here.
I'm dead serious, because what happens in these situations, in 2021, obviously they lose to the Rams in the Super Bowl, nail biter. 22, they bounce back, come back to AFC champions. Then they go 9-8, miss the playoffs, 9-8, miss the playoffs, start off at 1-3, 0-3, and you look up and you just paid all these players and you getting ready to pay the DN. So you're going to pay 3 dudes in a 12-month calendar that's important to your team, and you still miss the playoffs. You know and I know. No matter how long they held on to Marvin Lewis, no matter how long they held on to other coaches, the league is a little different now. Regardless of how frugal people may think the Cincinnati Bengals ownership group is in terms of wanting to get rid of people because they still got to write the remaining balances on those checks. You miss the playoffs, you start losing butts in the stands. People don't want to sit down and watch you play. So you missed the playoffs this year, and again, Zach Taylor might be joining a network near you. But anyway, though, you ain't slick.
What you mean?
Because you sitting up there blaming me as Mr. Give Me the Damn Ball, screaming and hollering at people and everything. I was thinking as I was sitting here, I was saying, hold on, man. I know damn well he was screaming and hollering at his teammates ridiculously. Look at that. That don't even make no sense.
Hey,
look at you through your helmet, though. Look at that. Damn. Look at that.
God.
And they partying on you, cussing the refs out and everything.
Who you talking to, T? Look, you talking to your teammates?
Look at you. Man, that don't make no sense. You scaring people? Like, man, that don't make no sense. Look at this. This is outrageous.
Not the helmet.
Not the helmet.
Don't throw the helmet.
He threw the helmet. Oh, my God.
Man,
and you got to find a FedEx
that's a
letter.
distraction.
I'm passionate, man.
Oh, God, now we passionate. Got it.
Oh, Key, y'all done told Key, I was wondering where he was going with this.
That's leadership.
That's real leadership.
But this is what I'm saying.
Don't come with that.
Every teammate that I've played with will tell you, like, I've been a leader on every team. And you can't, we don't choose ourselves. We don't choose ourselves as leaders.
No.
The locker room chooses you. But the passion, I remember the one where I threw my helmet to the ground, I was mad at the ref. Because dude literally tackled me on the route, and it was 4th down. We got a 15-yard penalty. We was playing the Ravens.
I don't see that.
But we got a 15-yard penalty. I got a 15-yard penalty for doing that.
I don't know. I don't
got a
need
penalty
no
for that.
explanation. I don't need. All I seen was you throwing your helmet, which was ridiculous.
You hurt the team.
You hurting the team when you do that. And y'all probably got 15 yards and backed you up. You hurt the team.
And you know what's crazy?
You hurt the team.
We ended up winning that game on a last-second field goal. Marvin Lewis says.
Look, he hurt the team. That's ridiculous.
Look at this. That one right there.
This is ridiculous.
I remember that. Chris McAllister.
And McAllister,
I remember that.
He barking at you because of it. All right. No, I just had to set the record straight. That's all. Yesterday.
We're passionate, Keith. We care.
Yeah, that's correct.
Leadership.
Yesterday, TJ gave us his top 10 quarterbacks, but did not include Dak Prescott. The Cowboys quarterback was only listed as, get this, one of TJ's honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
He couldn't even make the second team first team, honorable mention. And Dak Prescott spoke recently about how his rehab is going after a hamstring injury last year. Take a listen.
I'm healthy. I'll be full go for camp. I'm healthy. Yeah, look, I think soon here I'll probably get an official sign off from Doc, but I'm healthy. Go turn on that guy's tape. He's getting separation. He's got separation. Even when he's not getting the ball at times, and hell, when he doesn't have separation, he's still making the catches. It's not going to be hard. For me, it's about getting that ball near that guy and letting him go beat George Pickens, and you go turn on the tape. He's great at doing that.
So, Paul, will Dak Prescott be a top 10 quarterback this season?
Without a doubt. Listen, Dak Prescott was in the MVP conversation just a couple of years ago, having a healthy season, and we know what he dealt with last year. I think I fully look forward to him coming back with some added new weapons, George Pickens especially, to go along with CeeDee Lamb to get back to being a high, accurate quarterback, putting it right on the mark with a strong arm and showing people why he's considered in the top 10. Now, when I look at this list...
That's a great list, man. That list is really good.
When I look at this list...
That list is hot garbage.
That's a great list.
I mean, you can argue. Like, most people have Dak.
No Brock Purdy. No Brock Purdy.
I can have him between 7 and 10.
No Brock Purdy. No Dak Prescott.
Who you taking off the list?
Man, Jordan Love, C.J. Stroud, gone.
Right now.
And as much as I love Jaden Daniels, he's too high.
No, Jaden Daniels in the top 10.
He's too high.
No,
he got to drop down. He got to drop. I'm not putting him in front of Matthew Stafford. I'm sorry.
When you do what he did as a rookie,
The eye test?
I hate to say it, but I've seen rookie quarterbacks play well. Okay?
Not like this.
Not many.
Not like this.
I've seen
Not
rookie
many.
quarterbacks play
Not
well.
like
Andrew Luck and who else?
I love Jaden Downs. I'm the only dude that was on him when he came out in the draft. Everybody else wanted Caleb Williams.
I was.
Okay.
But I'm, yeah.
We speak the same language, though.
Yeah.
And so the first one you got right. After that,
all them are all together. All them are all together. The top four, you shuffle all them around. From 5 to 10, you got to have Dak in there.
You got to have Dak. You got to have Brock Purdy.
I'm not even like what's Justin Herbert done to get him? Oh, he looks the part.
Justin Herbert has great physical talent.
That's what he just said. Looks the part.
That's what
No, he is the part. No, he don't look the part. He is the part.
No, he's cool, but I mean, he would 8 to 10 would be fine for me. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem
Dak Prescott has a chance to be a top 10 quarterback, and I'll probably say he will be this year, because statistically, that's what he do. Dak Prescott is going to play well, and if I'm not mistaken, when he was number 2 in the MVP, the runner-up, he was hurt the previous season.
Yeah.
And so I expect Dak to come back with a vengeance because he was hurt last year. And I expect him to come back and play well, especially with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. When you got those two guys on the outside, it's easy. They're going to create separation. And if they don't, just throw the ball up. And for sure, Pickens going to go get it. I am concerned about the changing of the head coach, the offensive system, but not so much the offensive system. It's the play calling. Can we call the right play at the right time? That's going to be critical.
The great thing about him having Schottenheimer as his head coach, he was his pass game coordinator, quarterback coach. So he's used to hearing the voice.
You can be used to hearing the voice. And Key, you know this all too well. You call a play at the wrong time.
Of course.
And you're going to do that on a consistent basis because the great play callers, they call the right play at the right time.
But in all honesty, he may have learned from his mistakes in the past by sitting on the sideline because he was an offensive coordinator in the past. This is not his first rodeo calling plays. So maybe he's learned something along the way with his natural growth of learning when to call certain plays. Pass play instead of a run play. Just a dink and a dunk screen instead of trying to take a shot. He may have learned those sort of things.
I wouldn't be surprised if Dak Prescott is in the top 10, but it's going to be 30 years.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the Cowboys. We're talking about Dak.
Right. But he is a Cowboy.
I know, but we're just talking about that one
Dak
player.
Prescott, I'll say he'll be a top 10 quarterback because he's shown me when he has an injury, he comes back that next year and goes to work.
So you're changing your mind now?
No, I'm saying going into the season, he outside the top 10. After the season, he may find himself in the top 10.
Since 2021.
It's fluid.
He's been, since 2021, starting quarterback. 5th in passing touchdowns, 10th in passing yards, passer rating 8th, wins tied for 8th, and games tied for 14th.
Well, a lot of these quarterbacks ain't been in the league that long. CJ Stroud ain't been in the league.
So even with, and he's missed games. And Dak's missed games. So that evens all that out. But I'm talking about the veteran quarterbacks. When you put him up there with the veteran dudes, what's the difference other than they won a playoff game more than him? But when you talk about the regular season,
but you gotta look and think about this.
He hasn't been the only problem for the Cowboys in the postseason.
The Cowboys had 7 All-Pros?
That's like every year.
7 All-Pros, they lose in the first round.
Yeah, but that's not him.
Green Bay comes in, Jordan Love, his first playoff game.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Them.
But he did not play well.
We know that. That's why they lost.
He did not play well. He did not play well.
And that's my point. And so Dak Prescott is statistically in the regular season does well all the time. But when you have great talent around you, that has to translate to something in the playoffs.
All right. Coming up, West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez joins us from Big 12 Media Day next on Speak. Rich.
I'm 32, juggling family, working full-time, and earning a bachelor's degree. At University of Phoenix, I earn career-relevant skills with every 5-week course. Skills I can use now, not just after graduation.
Earn skills in weeks, not years. Visit phoenix.edu.
Welcome in West Virginia head coach Rich Rodriguez. Welcome to Speak, Rich. Thanks for joining the show.
Thanks for having me. Good to see a couple of the old veterans on the screen right there.
No, we here, man. It's your second time around at West Virginia. The first time you were there from 01 to 07. What's it like being back in Morgantown?
Well, it takes, your first year on the job, maybe 8 to 9 months to kind of figure out the lay of the land. To me, it was like 8 to 9 minutes. I know where all the bodies are buried and the traps are laid. I know, where I need to go to solve some problems. But the game is different. The dynamics have changed in college sports. And, as a coach, I better not be the same coach I was 20 years ago. I better be a better coach. And so, it's been good to be back. But, we got issues like everybody else does in certain things. But we can win. And we've won before. The dynamics are different, but we can win now, too.
What's up, Coach? I am an alumni of the Big 12 that went to Kansas, and it looks unrecognizable for me at this point, seeing West Virginia in there. But talk to me. What are your goals this season in the wide-open Big 12?
Well, first year, I always say this. Our goal is to win the league every year. Like, people worry about, what do you think about the playoffs? And then I could give a crap about the playoffs. If you win the league, you're in.
Yeah.
And that's our goal every year, is the first goal is to win the league. And what do we got to do to win it? Now, there's a lot of unknowns. I mean, it's not coach speak. I got 72 new players. 3/4 of my team are new. And half of those weren't here for the spring. So I think I know what I have, but until we go through August camp, I won't know for sure. But we got enough talent. We got enough good players that if we play really well and we have some fortune, we can win it. I think we can win it all at West Virginia. That's going to take a lot of work, and we're not going to be ready maybe right away, but things are in place to do that.
Your first foray at West Virginia, your first time through, you played fast. You were one of the first college guys. We're going to hurry up, we're going to play, we're going to force the defense to make adjustments, or they're going to make mistakes. Talk to us about the tempo at which you want to play at and how important that is for your offense.
Yeah, it's always been. Back then, there wasn't as many teams doing tempo, so it was a little more unique. Since then, a lot of people have done it at all levels. But I still think conditioning is one of the most overlooked factors in football. And I still think that if you control the tempo offensively, whether you're going fast all the time or part of the time, whatever, you can kind of dictate to the defense when you want the ball snapped. And, defenses nowadays are so creative in how they scheme and how they fit on the front side and fit on the back side and different packages they bring in for third down. You better have an answer offensively that limits what they can do on defense scheme-wise. And so that's all part of it. Plus, who pays money to watch a bunch of fat guys hold hands in a huddle? Not me.
I like that.
Let the fat guys get lined up, snap the ball, and let's play.
So the transfer portal has been a huge thing in college football. How has it helped you reshape West Virginia's program?
Well, because we lost a lot of seniors, and then we had a handful others that went in the portal. We got 60 transfers, I think 15 new guys, freshmen coming in. The entire roster is not completely flipped, but almost completely flipped. And I don't want that to be that every year. But if somebody goes and pays an inordinate amount of money for a backup that we have or something like that, then we may have more guys that are transferring in. I like to build the roster from guys that had 3 or 4 years to go. But I told our staff, let's get the best players we can get. If they got 1 year left and they're the best player, let's take him. If they got 3 years or 4 years left, that's even better. So I think the dynamic has changed, and as a coach, you can't be stubborn and say, I'm only going to take high school kids or I'm only going to take portal guys. That's just the best guys we can get.
Man, that's changing up the whole dynamic. Coach, you banned some players from dancing on TikTok. Have you had to discipline anybody yet for breaking that rule?
No. It's funny to me. I didn't really know much about TikTok, but I actually didn't know about guys dancing until some of my upperclassmen said, Coach, can you stop this? I'm like, what? And he said, some of our guys are putting on their uniform and dancing in their locker room. All my buddies think that's all of us and it's embarrassing. I'm like, yeah, sure. Hell, you can't do it. First off, I told those guys, if they could actually dance and make money off of it, I'd be fine, but they can't dance. I see them. They're not going to get paid for it. So let's try to get good at football where you can get paid for it and make some money that way. So that was the whole deal behind that.
That's funny.
Coach, you coached Pac-Man Jones, Chris Henry, and as you know, the late Chris Henry has a son, Chris Henry Jr. I'm sure you recruited him. Give me some similarities that you've seen from coaching the father that you see in the son now.
Well, I don't know if I can talk about him because he's an underclassman.
Underclassmen.
Really?
Yeah, can't talk on it.
Yeah, but I do know who he is, and have known who he is since he was playing a little bit. And obviously, Pac-Man calls me all the time. I love talking to Pac, and he's he's kept me abreast of all his things. And one of the things he's doing with Chris Jr. and the rest of the family that Pac-Man, and that brings me part of what our goal as a program would be. Here as Pac-Man and Chris both came to our program from completely different environments, one from Atlanta, one from New Orleans, and those guys were ultra competitive, and they became really, really close as players. And then when Chris tragically passed away, Pac-Man stepped in with his family. And to me, that's part of the whole culture and environment that we want to build at West Virginia, where our guys are truly our family, no matter where you're from, and they take care of each other for the rest of their lives. And so that was something that's really pretty neat.
Coach, I've had an opportunity to work with TJ a lot and Keyshawn, and it's rough working with this guy. What's your relationship like with Keyshawn?
Oh, Keyshawn, great. I'm telling you, I'm not kidding you. Keyshawn want to know what he would have got paid back in the day. That's for sure. And he would have been one that was, worth getting a little extra too on the side. You know what I mean? I would have had some guys calling like, hey, I know you got a nice car dealership, but I got to keep this guy because he's wide receiver number one, and dudes are trying to. And I don't think Keyshawn would have played one. Now, hell, he would have played one off the other. Say, hey, coach, hey, I got the school hammer. I don't want to leave. What you got to do to keep me? You know what I mean? You got to do.
Well, of course.
But I need that. I need a Keyshawn right now. That's one of my needs. I need because we're going to run the football, right? And they're going to put everybody up in there, and I'm going to need somebody one-on-one out there that can beat anybody we play against.
So Coach, when you were at U of A or even at Michigan for the most part, you were allowed to travel outside the state where the university was at to hold your football camps, and we gave some out here in California for you. Do you think that rule should be back in play where you could do your football camps in any state that you choose to?
I do, but I also think, Keyshawn, that what we need to do fixing college football is that let's not kid ourselves. Our guys are now pros. Let's follow the NFL model as close as we can because that's the most successful pro organization. They got it figured out. If you want to do right by the players, I don't know how they can't be employees, get multi-year contracts, have a CBA so they get a bigger piece of the pie, and everything is run on an equal basis, that kind of deal. And, right now it's kind of crazy. You guys as veterans will know you wouldn't want some 4th or 5th round rookie making more than a 5-year veteran, would you? That's not going to happen. Well, in college, it's happening. And so there's so many rules that have to be fixed that if we followed some of the NFL model, especially with tampering and contracts and all that kind of stuff, we would be in a better place because our days of being collegiate and being a collegiate model are over. We are now pros, and we need to follow the pro model.
I know you, being a head coach, you also have been a coordinator. You've coached other positions. You've scouted, you evaluate talent before, but I need you to evaluate Paul Pierce as a defensive rush in on the left or the right side. We got a clip that we want to show you.
Coach.
What?
Go into this with an open mind now. Oh, look at that.
First off, he barely fits in those skinny jeans he's got in. He may need to reevaluate his attire before he gets out there.
Yeah, I don't think Paul's made out to be that.
He just got his ass whipped. I'm just telling you. I don't know about right there, but
I got low right there, Coach.
He did got low. You know what? And I always said this. I have never recruited a guy that was a really good two-sport athlete like basketball and football that didn't turn out to be a really good football player. So, but they got to be willing to, get their face in the fan a little bit too, So,
yeah. Well, thanks a lot for joining us here on Speak, Coach Rob. We really appreciate it, and good luck in West Virginia this year in the Big 12 Conference.
Appreciate it. Got great respect for you guys. Appreciate you.
Coming up, how much will it cost to see Cooper Flagg's Summer League debut? We'll tell you next on Speak.
Low key, that move went bad.
I'm telling you what bad.
Get your mother-loving ears on because your big-time radio DJ's got news. PayPal lets you choose how you want to pay for all the stuff. With PayPal, I can pay in-store, pay online, or pay over time. What's that? You want this translated into song? I hope you're sitting down. You can pay your own way. You keep those ears on, you hear? Don't just pay, baby. PayPal.
Learn more at paypal.com.
Time to check in on our social life. Bronny James and Cooper Flagg will face off tomorrow night in Summer League play. The tickets are going crazy, record-breaking amount. The most expensive courtside ticket is currently over $3,000.
What?
So, Paul, how much would you pay to see Bronny James and Cooper in a Summer League game in Vegas?
I'm Paul Pierce, Key. I ain't going to these little kids' games.
Man, will you just answer the question?
Wait, one more. Who are you? Let them know.
Paul Pierce. I ain't going to no little kids play.
Just assume you not Paul
How much would
Pierce.
I pay? I would pay nothing to see this game, Key.
Why? Well, why is everybody else doing
It's
it?
better for the fans, though, who get a first look at them. It's great, and I understand that they marketing to the young talent, and they're going to go out there. Hopefully they put on a show. But I'm going to that game for free. They're going to have to let me walk in, front row, let me evaluate the talent. Pay for it? No.
3 G's, though.
Yeah, all right.
As much as 3 G's to sit on the course, I had to watch
At a Summer League game?
but it's an up-and-coming star that people hadn't had an opportunity
Literally
to
a
see.
glorified pickup game, Key. These guys in practice for 2 days and gonna come out here and everybody gonna go for theirs. Now, I'm excited to see what Cooper Flagg gonna bring, being the number 1 pick, obviously, but I'm not gonna get it. I done seen too many Summer League games to not get overexcited.
What would you pay, TJ?
TJ ain't paying nothing for that. I wouldn't let TJ.
Whatever the face value is, I'm not paying a dollar above to get in any sporting event more than what face value is. That's me.
Okay.
But the Summer League, though, a lot of times, they free. At least the games I've been to, I've been just giving tickets.
You have to pay, but you just got the tickets.
Yeah, I got the tickets then. But I'll pay face value. I'm not paying $3,000 for no chance. No way. Nope, not going to do it.
But these are people that probably once in a lifetime get an opportunity to be in Vegas at the same time as Summer League. You get to sit courtside because you can't sit courtside at the Lakers game.
Right. I think the Summer League should be free for the fans that's trying to grow with the young guys or some unsung talent that you might discover. I think Summer League should be just for free. I truly believe that. I don't think, they should be making money off of, guys. So most of these guys are probably going to the G League or overseas or, whatever leagues they gonna play in. It's only like probably 1 or 2 pros, like really pros out there every night. It should be for the fans, though. A gift for the fans, I believe.
Sticking with basketball and the Los Angeles Lakers, some negativity, some negative reports, better yet, criticizing Deandre Ayton's attitude and work ethic came out after he was released by the Portland Trail Blazers. Now that he's a Los Angeles Laker, he said he's ready to prove people like Paul Pierce, his haters, wrong. Take a listen.
I feel like a video game. Like somebody set it up. I think somebody set this up. But honestly, this is an opportunity that I won't take for granted. Luka's a once-in-a-generation player, and I'm happy to be his teammate. Hearing how much shape he's been in, he's super ripped, and I'm finally glad to be on his side. It fuels me. It fuels me up completely, and it's a different type of drive that I've been wanting to express for a long time. And I think this is the perfect timing, here in the purple and gold. And it's a platform that I cannot run from. I can show what I really am and just be around some greats to really emphasize that for me as well. And, it is a lot of fuel in me, to prove the whole world wrong.
The great thing about when you get a chance to see some people, Paul, you and Deandre Ayton basically got the same hair. TJ, what version of Ayton are we going to see in L.A., man?
Boy, Key, you cold.
Well, no, because Paul look at the players and can judge based on the texture of the hair and whether or not they can go. That's what he
for some of them.
For some of them. That's what Paul say. He look at the texture of the hair. You say the hair with the ponytails. And
they can't go.
Can't go. That's what he say. But what you think, what are we going to be getting? What version are we getting from Deandre Ayton here in L.A.?
When I hear him say, it fuels me, I've been wanting to express for a long time, and I think this is a perfect timing and a perfect platform to do that, playing for the Lakers. I expect him to play near all-star level. when you start talking like this, you know what the narrative has been about you. You want to change that narrative. And so you're going to have a microscope on you every game when you play in L.A. Every game. You cannot slack off, and I believe he knows that from the way he's talking and speaking. And so I expect him to play near all-star level, if not all-star.
Yeah, I think we're getting a better version of him because, like I said earlier in the show, when you are in a place that you don't feel comfortable in, like you go back and you look at the issues that he had in Phoenix with Monte. Those are issues. They moved on from him in Portland. He didn't want to be in Portland. He didn't necessarily want to leave Phoenix, but in the end, they moved on from him. And then Phoenix, whatever happened there, happened, and they bought him out, and he's moving on. But for some reason, he feels like he could potentially be a missing piece that we was looking for, a rim protector. He knows that. That's why he signed. He could have signed with anybody. Basically, you're a free agent. You can go sign with whoever you want to sign with, Paul, but he made a decision.
He chose to come with us.
Yeah, he chose to come to L.A. And then when I look at him and I say, okay, if we like Chet Holmgren, and Chet's giving us 12 a game, and Deandre Ayton's giving us close to 15 a game, and one's giving us 12 boards a game, and another dude's giving us 8 boards a game.
Wait, what is this?
I'm just saying the numbers. Yeah, that's the
Where
numbers.
these numbers come from?
Those are the numbers.
From what he produced.
That's in the finals.
Oh,
Those
I'm
are
saying,
numbers.
well, no, don't do that.
Those are numbers.
Where's Aiden's numbers coming from?
No, that's from the finals when he was in the finals.
With Phoenix.
Oh,
In
these
the finals with
are
Phoenix.
both of their finals
In
numbers.
the finals. So
okay.
He played at a higher level based on the numbers when he was in the finals with Phoenix.
Okay.
Versus Chet this past finals.
Okay.
So if I'm giving Chet $240 million, I'm just saying, I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at it. Now, one dude can shoot the three, and Chet and DeAndre Ayton not so good. He doesn't take many threes, but he does a whole lot of other things. I just like the opportunity to have him in L.A. with a veteran like LeBron, veteran coaches, and a change of scenery and environment.
Yeah, he was the best available for what the Lakers needed. I'm not sure if there's anybody out there they could have traded for to get the type of talent they're going to get. But listen, it's a reason that he's on his third team in 6 years. There's a reason that Portland bought him out. Now, what can I expect from Ayton? He's looking at guys like Chet Holmgren and said, whoa, this guy just signed for $200 and what million?
40, I think it was 240.
That's what I'm saying. And he should be in that boat. But I'm saying he should be at this stage in that boat talking about where do I sign that next coach or GM or owner? Where do I sign it at? I don't expect him to be at all-star level. I mean, at best, he'll be fourth option on the team. The key for him is cleaning up his act. He have to clean up some character issues. He have to clean up the narrative that he doesn't work hard. Now, will he be able to do that? Absolutely. You're going to be in an environment, you're going to be in a culture where this is what that is all about. You're going to be around a coach and some players that spend millions on their body. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you going to play a role that's good for the team? Or are you going to pout when you don't get the ball? Are you going to have bad body language when things don't go your way? It's a number of factors, and the reason that it ain't his talent. It's these other attitudes. He has to have a great attitude adjustment. And if he can change that up and still do the same things that he's doing out here, I expect him to have the Lakers in prime position to contend. But that's a big if. That's a big if.
But you're willing to give him the opportunity to show you, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You've seen other players like we have
Absolutely.
that have changed sceneries and become different players.
Absolutely.
With a different attitude.
But the thing is, if it don't work out here in L.A., and he has every opportunity, because look, they're looking for this move to say, all right, we're building for the future.
Well, that's his fault, though, if it don't work out.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Because him and Luka is on the same draft class, same age, that you could build forward. You can have that 1-2 combination, and this is a perfect situation for him. I hope it works out for him for the best, because I hate to see guys squander away their talent and not get the money that they can possibly get because of attitude or not putting in the work, because he definitely has the talent to do it. But what do I expect ultimately? I expect him to be on best behavior. I expect him to play a role. I expect LeBron to get under the LeBron and Luka family tree and fall in line to become the player that he potentially could become.
would you have taken him in Boston?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, you always give a young kid an opportunity when they're
Especially
still
the
young.
first pick.
Yeah, you're the first pick, so you're the first pick for a reason because they saw your potential young. Now, and you get a discount on them right now. You know what I'm saying? At that discount, now, if he had been making like in the 30s, 40s, you can start questioning it. Like, I don't know, he's worth that because his attitude. I don't know if he's going to buy into what we need as a team. You know, so there's a lot of people that lost money for those same exact issues. And it's a shame that he hasn't had veterans. Like, he's had veterans. Like, who's been the big brother veteran that's come around? And that's what the league is missing. That veteran that's going to come put his arm around a young dude because there's so many young teams. Think about it. I think every team needs that veteran that's going to be like, hey, man, look, you need to clean your act up.
Go ahead and play one more.
You
Give
know
him
what I'm
one more.
No,
Give who one more?
I'm washed.
Man, please, man.
I'm washed.
He washed, dried out, and hung outside on one of them cable wires. Speaking of washed, Kevin Durant
Kevin Durant not washed.
No, I didn't say. I never said that.
Speaking of washed.
I never said he was washed.
KB, come at this, man. Stop, I called you washed.
Speaking of washed, nearly 4 years in Brooklyn are mostly viewed as a failure. So that would be washed in Brooklyn because that's what many people thought Kevin Durant was. The failure to a lack of playoff success, but KD thinks it's unfair view of his time with the Nets. Take a listen.
The dialogue around the league, the discourse around the league, they don't truly appreciate the journey sometimes of what goes on. Even the ones that don't work out. Right. You can still see some beauty in the Sacramento Kings that didn't win the chip.
Right.
Or your Phoenix Suns that didn't win the championship. Like, it's if you really love the game of basketball, you can pull great things from all of that stuff. And that's what I tend to do with that Brooklyn situation.
Nobody say he was washed, though.
Right.
Their time in Brooklyn certainly was washed.
He's far from washed.
No, he ain't washed, but that time in Brooklyn with them three, that was washed. I was living out there. I remember I was living there. So I was able to see everything, hear everything, see everything. It's just one of those situations. Do you agree with him, though, Paul? The way people have viewed their lack of success in Brooklyn with Kyrie, James Harden, and KD?
Yeah, I disagree. You know, although I appreciate the love of the game and admire everything KD brings to the game, when you play at a certain level as he has his whole career, I admire that. I admire the work he gives each and every year to go out there and be the best version of himself. But when he's reached a certain level, there's expectations that come with that. So when he goes to Brooklyn and he suits up with Kyrie and James Harden, and although things didn't work out like they should have because of the distractions, as he talked about with Kyrie and also James, it is a failure. Because you would have hoped going into it, you're like, man, this is the new big three. This is a championship team. And people have to understand, just because you put talent together, that don't mean it's always going to come together or go the right way. Everything has to work out. In his situation in Brooklyn and in Phoenix, stuff didn't work out the right way. Just whether it's the coaching staff, whether it's the players, the locker room, everything has to work out perfectly. We all think because they had a blueprint in Miami with LeBron or with my Celtics or over there with KD and the Warriors, that's going to happen in other places where that's certainly not the case. Everything has to go your way. Everything has to be a perfect fit with the players, the coaches, the staff. But what he's able to give the game and the beauty of his game, and now that he has kids all over the world trying to play like him, we appreciate that, KD. We appreciate it, but it was a failure because we hold you at a high standard of greatness. And we expect big things when you go to certain teams. We know you got to be good and great, but you got to be lucky. And in this situation, he was just unlucky.
You know, I don't consider it a failure in Brooklyn. I just don't, because it never even materialized into anything.
Right.
They literally played 16 games together.
I know, right?
Like 16 games over a 3-year period of time. You had the whole Kyrie situation going on, right? Then you had James Harden. He was trying to work himself into shape. Then he wanted to get out of there because of what the Kyrie situation was. But KD stayed the course as long as he could and tried to fight. You think about it, they played 16 games. They was 13-3 in those games. 13-3 in those games, 8-2 in the regular season, and 5-1 in the postseason. Think about that. Had they played enough games to qualify as a disappointment. So you can't really, people just want to, because he has the fingers, the clap back. He would just want to clap back. He got the whole thing. He becomes a little bit of polarizing. He's paying attention to everything people saying on social media.
Right.
So this is an opportunity for people to talk negative about him when he left Golden State, wanted to form his own so-called Big 3-2-3, whatever you want to call it, in Brooklyn, and it didn't work out at that level for a number of reasons. We got to be real with this. We can't look at 16 games over a 3-year period of time and be like, oh, it's a failure. You just can't. No matter what you say, you can't. He's going up against teams by himself. He out there basically as a lone ranger. They was going to knock Milwaukee out. If he'd have had on a normal size shoe that he wear, whatever it was, I don't know what it was, a 16 and he had like a 19 on or something like that. I'm figuring he's 16, 7-footer. You got to have big feet. If he had the right shoe on, that toe on the line, he knocked that down. We might be having a different conversation. You just never know, TJ.
I don't look at it as a failure also. It's a lesson learned. And you can hear it in his voice. He's learning about the mistakes that he thought were going to be great successes. It's a lesson learned. When you look at it, you leave the Nets, you go to Phoenix. And he learned from those. And if you look, he wanted to go to Houston because of the construction of the team, the mistakes he made going to New Jersey, the mistake he made going to Phoenix. This Houston team, they didn't, on paper, don't have that type of talent. They don't have that type of scoring. But they have a lot of young defensive players that's going to play defense, and they're going to get after it. Something that, at his age, he probably can't do game in and game out. So I look at it as it was a lesson learned from him. He learned from going to the New Jersey Nets. He learned with his time in Phoenix, and he didn't want to make that same mistake going to Houston.
Yeah, a guy like that, it's just when he left Golden State and went to Brooklyn and went from Brooklyn to Phoenix, the Phoenix situation, you just felt like you got 3 all-star type dudes. You got a younger dude in Book that was in the championship with Chris Paul. You have KD who came over. Then you go get Bradley Beal. You just felt them 3 names. If I closed my eyes and you told me them 3 names, I'm like, man, they getting ready to win a couple championships. Right?
Yeah,
and it didn't. Now, if somebody want to say that the Phoenix deal might have been a failure, then yeah. But they also didn't give that an opportunity because every single year they had a new head coach. Now, whoever's decision that was.
And Beal was hurt a lot. Bradley Beal was hurt.
Yeah, but whoever decision that was to keep recycling coaches and moving them in and moving them out, I don't know. But the Brooklyn thing certainly was not a fail. Coming up, the Dolphins organization just got brutally criticized. We'll tell you what that is next on Speak.
Now at Chipotle, our all-new Chipotle Honey Chicken brings Chipotle heat with a touch of sweet. Seared smoked peppers and savory Mexican spices, blended with a hint of pure honey for a perfectly balanced sauce. All combined with fresh, tender chicken hot off the grill, served up in your favorite burrito or bowl. New Chipotle Honey Chicken takes heat and sweet to a whole new level. But it's only at Chipotle for a limited time. Order now in the app for pickup or delivery. Chipotle, for real.
The Dolphins have been getting a lot of criticism this offseason, and Asante Samuel Sr. is the latest to share his thoughts on Miami's culture down in South Beach. Speak up.
Damn. The Dolphins had no reason to trade Jalen Ramsey other than they're sensitive. There's no leadership in the Dolphins organization. Mike McDaniels is a pushover. Chris Greer, the general manager, he has no backbone. These guys over here, the Miami Dolphins, they are running this team like a little league team. No one can stand up to the players. They're terrified of their own players, and they have no control over their players.
Right. TJ, are you concerned about the culture down in Miami and South Beach?
Somewhat.
Hey, Mike McDaniel.
It's like they just letting good players go. Now, you let Jalen Ramsey go, you do get a good player in return. But you in Miami, you rarely see players wanting to leave a city like L.A., Miami, Dallas, New York. You don't want to leave those cities, so you got guys willingly ready to leave. it's concerning that it seems like the culture isn't where it needs to be. That does concern me.
Yeah, when you think about it, 4 years, so be entering in his 4th season. He's made the playoffs twice, but early exits. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel like this is a team built to last. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Miami, especially if you get these teams like the Raiders, the Jets. All of a sudden they start making noise, and then you tread water.
Hey, you know what's crazy? I'm sitting there thinking about how are they in the AFC East? They Miami, and you have the Patriots, the Jets, and Buffalo.
But the coach was
all in the same area.
Yeah.
And Miami is nowhere near the NFC East.
But
why is that?
The coach used to
NFC,
be
AFC.
The coach used to be in the AFC East too.
They need to do another realignment. If you think about all the teams in their division, they're the only team that don't fit. They really don't fit in that.
But Jacksonville fit in Tennessee. Who else? Indy.
It should be Jacksonville.
Houston.
It should be Jacksonville, Houston, Miami. That should be a division.
That should be, yeah.
If you really think about it, Tennessee or Indy need to go to the AFC East. One of them two. But yeah, the culture is very concerning.
No, it is always concerning. So there are 7 new NFL head coaches in the National Football League. Pete Carroll, Mike Vrabel already have a ton of experience and success under their belts. But there's some other head coaches. The rest are getting their first opportunity to run an NFL team. So, TJ, which new head coach will be the man and make an impact on his team this year?
I mean, if we're being honest, everybody's going to say the same answer would be Ben Johnson.
No, everybody ain't going to say that.
No, but
you're going to say that.
You're going to go with your friend. I'm going to go with Mike Vrabel. I like a former player that's had success somewhere else. Immediately when he steps in that meeting room, he's going to garner respect. The Patriots started to play better towards the end of the season last year with Drake May. They're going to be even better with Mike Vrabel. They have a lot of young talent. Vrabel is going to really change. We just spoke on culture. He's going to change the culture of that team. I expect the Patriots to be a lot better.
Damn, I'm going to go with my friend. You hear that, Paul?
Your former teammate.
That's true.
I do the same thing, though.
Yeah, you should. I think Ben Johnson. I think he got the most talent to work with. I think there's a new excitement, especially from Caleb. He's getting an offensive coach, somebody that he can kind of cater to and lean on throughout the year, something he didn't have a year ago. And in all honesty, I think the Bears make the playoffs this year. I think if they don't make the playoffs, then it's going to be a disappointment. Caleb had a decent year. Could have been better. He had to deal with bad coaching a year ago because they lost a lot. You understand, they lost games they shouldn't have lost. They lost some close games. One because coach didn't call the timeout. Another one to a Hail Mary.
Them 2 games should have been wins. 100% should have been wins.
Games should have been wins. And I think, with the culture change, they have the infrastructure, they have the players, they have a foundation that I think is better than the rest of the coaches in their situation to make some noise in the NFC North.
You say I'm going with my friend. You damn Skippy.
We know.
Aaron Glenn. He's got a real shot, in my opinion, at winning the division.
Oh, I thought you was going to go with Liam Cohen. My bad.
No, you didn't. There's no way you'd have bet on that. Aaron Glenn, you talk about culture change. He's already changed the culture. He changed the culture when they hired him in New York. The moment that he had Aaron Rodgers fly to New York just to fly. That
Playing
changed
no games.
No, you set him down and said, "Hey, man, nice having you here to meet, but don't need you, man. We good." That changed the culture right then and there.
Right
and the players respect AG. AG played at a very high level, Pro Bowl level, very, very experienced assistant coach, defensive coordinator. I mean, the last great coach that the Jets had, in my opinion, was Rex Ryan. He's kind of cut from that same cloth, except I just believe that he's a little more offensive. He'll have a little more offensive mind, even though he's a defensive-minded coach. He's a little more hands-on because he's not calling the DC. That'll be Steve Wilkes. So now he can manage everybody's personalities. He can go and put his arms around Garrett Wilson when the ball flies over his head. Or he can put his arms around Justin Fields when things aren't going well and the fans get impatient. He can do all of those things because he's not calling the defense. He's just the head coach. He's cut from Bill Parcells, Sean Payton, Dan Campbell. Like, he's been around all of those guys. Bill Belichick. That's one of the main reasons I feel the situation in New York is going to be much better than what people think, Paul.
You think they'll make the playoffs?
I think they...
You think? No. I can't give them playoffs because they're at best third in that division.
I don't feel that, though.
You don't feel that?
No, I don't feel that.
Wait, we talk about the same division that...
Same division as Buffalo.
Buffalo, Miami, New England.
Same division.
Jets.
Same division. They got a bunch of young dudes
Miami's gonna be
that can go play.
If Justin Fields plays up to how
he's
many
capable of playing,
then they have a chance.
Man, they got Garrett Wilson and company. They got Breece Hall, they defense, and Sauce Gardner and company, and Quentin Williams.
I'm saying you got Buffalo's gonna win the division.
I don't know that.
You know that.
No, I don't.
You do know that.
No, I don't.
All right. Why
We didn't
you
know
don't
that Philly.
All right. Is the sun coming up tomorrow? Yes, it's coming up tomorrow.
At what time?
The sun is coming up tomorrow.
I don't know what time, but it's coming up.
It's coming up.
I don't know what time, but it's
just
coming
like
up.
the Bills is gonna win that division.
Coming up, Patrick Mahomes called Max Crosby the best pass rusher he's ever faced. We'll tell you if that's fair or foul next on Speed.
You ain't seen it yet, but you know it's coming up.
I don't know that. I don't know what time.
Hey there, travelers. Kaylee Cuoco here. Sorry to interrupt your music, great artist BT Dubs, but wouldn't you rather be there to hear it live? With Priceline, you can get out of your dreams and into your dream concert. They've got millions of travel deals to get you to that festival, gig, rave, sound bath, or sonic experience you've been dreaming of. Download the Priceline app today, and you can save up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights. So don't just dream about that trip. Book it with Priceline.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
It's time to play Fair or Foul with some relevant news stories in sports right now. First up, Patrick Mahomes has gone up against plenty of tough defenders in his career, but he says that the Raiders star Max Crosby is the best he's ever faced. TJ, fair or foul, Max Crosby is the best pass rusher that Mahomes ever faced.
That's fair. When you are one of the best pass rushers, you can mix or match who you believe is the best. I have no problem with Patrick Mahomes saying that. You see him twice a year. He's always in your face, sacking you, taking. I have no problem with that at all.
That's fair. How am I arguing with Goat Mahomes knowing? Listen, he done been in Goat Mahomes' face so much. Goat Mahomes know what type of chewing gum he be rocking. That's how much time he done been on Mahomes. So I gotta go with what he say. He play against him no matter where y'all rank Crosby. This is who he said. Just like that's Key's list, this is who he said.
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, it's real fair because he sees him twice a year. And he's got to see him at least 2 times, maybe 3 times this year if the Raiders make the playoffs, because we know Kansas City's going to make the playoffs. But some of those other defensive ends that he's going to be going up against, they're going to be mad and motivated. Sticking with Mahomes, a Kansas City radio host recently called the Chiefs quarterback a little round, fat, in other words. And Mahomes' trainer fired back.
Right there, he is looking a little like he got on the side. He got to do something.
Man, stop.
Man.
His trainer going to send you a message.
His trainer fired back saying, quote, "Send me your location, Paul.
It's a pouch.
You're going to have to go for what it takes to look great and perform at the same time."
Man.
So is that fair or foul? That the trainer fired back.
He said, "Send me okay, that's fair. Okay, he's standing 10 toes down for his man." Hey, listen, dog, trainer, just get to your job, man. Get Mahomes right. Get him right. He looked like he had a little bounce right there. No, I ain't talking about Mahomes. Listen, I don't care about what Mahomes looks like. He gets it done on the field. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But it's fair. He can stand up for his man.
It's fair because when you question the way Mahomes look, you in essence, you're questioning his work.
Right.
So he like, wait, and then send your location, bro. What you trying to do? Like, he sends your location. You really gonna pull up? He's just questioning his work. Mahomes can look however he look. he balling every year.
See, I think it's foul, me personally, because like you say about Luka, I'm giving you 38 and 8 and whatever else. I'm giving you Super Bowls, MVPs, and what do you expect for quarterbacks to look like? I don't understand. It's not very, think about it, TJ.
There's very few quarterbacks that's ripped up.
It's very few. They all gonna look kind of like just weird looking and stuff. They bodies, they got crazy bodies. That's just the reality of it. Over to the NBA, Stan Van Gundy
crazy bodies.
Out critics of LeBron James is in the debate between him and the GOAT, Michael Jordan. Oh, did I just say that? I didn't mean to say the GOAT, Michael Jordan. I'm gonna get in trouble. Him and Michael Jordan saying that people who revered MJ would question if LeBron was ever as good and that it would lead to a lot of hate toward LeBron instead of appreciation. Paul, fair or foul to say LeBron is unfairly criticized?
That's foul for me. I think LeBron has got his flowers. Everybody knows LeBron is probably the most scrutinized athlete of his time. Expectations that he had to face coming out of high school are unreal. And for him to live up to those expectations and surpass them, I think it's foul. Yes, Michael Jordan, LeBron gets compared to one another, but that's a privilege to get compared to who many consider as the GOAT. And in some people's eyes, people consider LeBron the GOAT.
I believe that's fair. And I look at it like this. The guys that are probably, anybody that's a sports fan that's 40 and over, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. The younger generation, LeBron is the GOAT. So if there's ever been the younger generation will swear up and down LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. Right. They've never seen him. 40 and up, we going with Michael Jordan.
I mean, it's fair. It's just that, man, MJ, though, it's just something about the way he moved.
It's our age. It's our age.
That ain't got nothing to do with the age. That ain't got nothing to do with the age.
Ask your son when you go home who to go. He gonna say LeBron James.
My son gonna say MJ, though.
Because of you. He ain't never seen MJ.
No, he watch clips. He do all that. But the thing is, it's just, when I look at it, LeBron James has a certain style. But ain't no kids, even at that age, walking around trying to emulate LeBron. There's kids that still walk. LeBron tried to emulate Michael. Kobe emulate F to a T. Carbon copy. That's the only thing when I look at it, I say, you know, people really, when I play basketball with a knee brace on, nothing was wrong with my knee because MJ did it.
Ooh, talk about it.
That's all I'm saying. That's literally all I'm saying. Ooh. I chew gum fat. Man,
walk like Jordan.
Come on, man.
Want to walk like
that. Walk and everything because of him.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's just, you know, I don't know. I love LeBron. I love LeBron. I'll fight somebody in the alley over LeBron. But at the end of the day, MJ, man,
I don't agree. But my son, when we talk about it, my son is like, Dad, you're crazy. LeBron is the GOAT. My son will argue me down.
It's just hard, man. MJ, just something about the cigar and the way he talked to people. Even his press conferences is cold. I mean, it's
his aura.
Just his aura. You know, but whatever. On LeBron's Mind the Game podcast with Steve Nash, Kevin Durant explained why things didn't go well during his time with the Nets. He said there were too many distractions surrounding the team, and you can't win with that. So, TJ, fair or foul to say that there was too many distractions in Brooklyn to win.
That's foul.
And I had to, no.
That's foul. Distractions are it's a distraction if you want it to be.
Okay.
I don't have to let that distraction distract me. And so, guys were hurt, specifically Kyrie Irving. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's fair for him. I can't tell what's a distraction for him because whatever's a distraction for him may not be for me. So I can't speak and be in his shoes, so I think that's fair.
Now, I think it's completely fair that KD feel that way. See, I was living there in Brooklyn. I was right there at the time. And it was, you had the unrest in our country and dealing with all the madness in the George Floyd situation. You had the pandemic. Then you had Kyrie. Is he gonna play? Is he not gonna play? Did he get the vaccine? Did he not? Then you got James Harden coming over. I mean, it was a lot. So I get what Katie was saying. It's just a lot of distractions. You can't even go into the arena focused because somebody gonna be asking you, well, what's up with so-and-so? What's up with so-and-so?
He playing
when he playing, when he not? Do you want him on the team? Do you want to stay here? So I kind of agree with KD. Coming up, Is next season the year Wemby finally makes his playoff debut? That's next on Speed. Boom.
Do you think the Spurs?
Luke Cornett signed with the Spurs this offseason, and he had an interesting reason for choosing the number 7. Speak up, Lukey.
7's a big number of like covenant and fulfillment and order and the faith, and so that's kind of what called me to it. And the secondary reason was I just hoped to be a third of the player that Tim Duncan was. Oh, love multiples, factors, yeah, break it all down, yeah.
Yeah, so
he just came up with that.
I wore 7 in high school, so I could use that too then, I guess.
A third of Tim Duncan?
No, of Deion.
Oh, a prime.
I guess you could do that. Is that a way that you pick your number?
You got to pick it somehow, I guess. His number probably was off the board. So, you know, when it goes to pecking orders, when you come to a new team, you got to go with what's available, unless you're willing to pay a steep price. He
was just sitting there, probably saw Tim Duncan, number 21. Yeah. Oh, 7 is he just made that up
Paul,
right there.
You expect for the Spurs to be a playoff team real quick?
Play in.
Play in.
Play in.
Okay. All right. Play in, play off, play up, play down.
Play in.
I don't know, man. I like Wemby too, but that ain't enough. They got to do some more. And they lost Pop. So coming up, we'll take a look at the latest episode of my LA Legends series on the podcast, All Facts, No Breaks. That's right, All Facts, No Breaks. LA Legends, next on Speak.
The rumor mill says that you was the only member at the funeral from NWA.
100%. He gave me the shovel to bury my father.
Well, I'm going to tell you what destroyed the group.
It was our manager, Jerry Heller. I told him, I told Dre, I told everybody, I'm like, man, he ripping us off.
Give me one of your dad's best bars.
Little ease on the set, hyped up with the bass.
Damn, he sound like his father.
I know. I just heard that.
When we did the Police song, we were saying what everybody wanted to say to the guy. Where was you at in 92 doing the riots? I know where I was at. I was looting.
So I'm gonna take,
But do y'all ever think that maybe y'all get a nice NWA tour going again for like that? What, man? I'm just asking.
That was a preview of Key's brand new All Facts, No Breaks LA Legends episode with the founding members of NWA. What does NWA mean? And Eazy-E's son, Little Easy. That's the 3rd episode of your LA Legends series. Key, what did you talk about with NWA?
We talked about everything though, Paul. Like we really we dove into them as a group, the breakup as a group, the death of Lil E's father, Big Easy. We just chopped it up about everything.
What does NWA stand for?
Yeah, NWA is a rap group that was created back a long time ago.
What does it stand for?
That's it for us. We'll see you guys tomorrow because we're not listening to Paul.